Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 commentary done by me, Hamster Sales. This is a game I just recently played on ladder. Zerg versus Protoss on... Oh my gosh, I forgot this map already again, didn't I? Oh no, this is Typhon Peaks. Typhon Peaks. I learned my lesson from maybe 3 casts ago. It's been a while since I cast a game, so I really wanted to cast this one because it had some good action, was pretty fun to play. And hopefully, as always, somebody can learn something from it, either me from casting it or you from listening. One or the other would be great. So, Hakuran going to be the red Protoss player here in the upper right. This is as close as you can get to each other on Typhon Peaks. Usually you're in what's considered close positions on this map. You're always going to be taking this route for the most part to get to your opponent. Or this route here, the little elliptical pattern to get to your opponent, not the farthest positions. This is, I think, the definition of a mid-sized map. If you think of a mid-sized map, you're usually thinking of Typhon Peaks, I'd say. Gonna be scouting in here with his probe. I'm gonna want to keep an eye on that, stay away from any type of cannon play, that type of stuff. Looked up the stats after the game. This guy is a high-level gold player. That's who BNet sees fit to match me up against nowadays. I'm a high-ranked platinum player, but I actually lost quite a few games, so not in a row, but I had a pretty bad stretch of, I'd say, under 40% win ratio for a while, maybe 20 or so games, and I think I saw my matchmaking rating go down, so I've been playing a lot of gold players mixed in with a few platinum. Even got one silver player a while ago, who oddly enough was in Diamond League and all his team leagues, but that's beside the point. Hakuran gonna be running his probe down here, electing to either fight my drone, either that, or he's just leaving his probe alone. Drone will always beat a probe in a one-on-one fight if they both start fighting at the same time, because Zerg hit point regeneration is constant, and Protoss will only do it when they're out of combat. So you have to get your Protoss units out of combat. Ooh, accidentally delayed the cybernetic score there for a second. But yeah, you want to get your Protoss units out of combat if you want them to regenerate those shields, and they will regenerate shields much faster than the Zerg will regenerate hit points. But in a Zerg on probe confrontation, obviously combat's going on the whole time, so Zerg will always win that. The drone will always win that fight. But unless the probe gets maybe 6 or so free hits off, as it has here, it's going to force my drone to run out. I've scouted a cybernetics core and a second gateway. I've seen no fast expo. So what I've been doing is assuming that a player doing this is going to go for 4-gate. We finally bring up the production tab there. So what I've started to do is produce a bunch of Zerglings, and there's the 4-gate. 3rd and 4th gateways going down here. 4-gate is obviously a well-known aggression build from the Protoss. They're going to build up a decent-sized army. I'm not really sure about the supply counts. Maybe that's something I should keep an eye on in this game. I don't know what supply count Protoss usually likes to move out with. But Hakuran here going to lose that probe that was pursuing my drone to my initial 4 Zerglings. Yeah, got these 6 Zerglings out just as kind of a starter course. Going to get a few more drones. I know I have time before the 4-gate starts. Not really sure on the timing, so I'm from here on out probably just going to be mixing unit and drone production. Probably my next wave is going to be Zerglings. So let's see, do I scout in with my Zergling here? Yes. Completely spot the 4-gate, know exactly what's coming now. As a Protoss player, I don't like leaving the 4-gate so obvious. He waited to put the 3rd and 4th gates down until my drone was dead, my scouting drone, but he went ahead and made it super easy to scout on his ramp, the 4-gate, so I totally know this is coming with a simple Zergling scout. And I'm going to be ready for this. I'm getting 3 spine crawlers in my expansion. These are not the best positions for spine crawlers, but my creep just started spreading, and I want to get those defensive structures of mine on the way as soon as possible. I'll be advancing them forward as soon as I can, or get a chance, or remember to. Getting a second queen now. This time around, this may be different than my previous replays. I can't remember when I switched, but I've gone 14 gas, 14 pool. Pull drones off at 100 gas, or at least I try to. I mined 8 extra gas there. And I'm just going to be, as soon as I get Ling speed, I'm just going to stick to producing mineral-based things like these spine crawlers, my expansion, and extra drones. So I've mostly been, well, yeah, like I said, I've been doing an even mix of about drones and zerglings. I have a group of maybe 20 zerglings or something like that. And I think I'm in great position to hold off this 4-gate. Let's see what happens. He has only 5 stalkers. He is lower on supply than I am. So he's going to want the reinforcements he can warp in with this pylon. I don't really know how many units he has at this point. I remember not really getting full vision on this, so I'm going to hold back with my zerglings, let him attack into my static defense, as Protoss is forced to do when he goes 4-gate. So that was smart, warping in some Zealots to support the Stalkers. He's going to need those against my Zerglings. Zealots are great against Zerglings. And let's see what he does here. I'm throwing down additional Spine Crawlers. He's probably going to want to attack before these get going. 3 additional Spine Crawlers is going to be more than enough to hold off these forces that he's mustered here. Nothing else in production. Not sure what he's waiting on for the attack. Okay, 4 sentries. So he's got Stalker, Zealot, Sentry mix, the perfect 4-gate combo. And he's going to attack. He did pull ahead in supply, so let's see what happens. My Zergling is trying to get the surround here. Some cut off by his force field, not too many. A lot of Zerglings engaging Stalkers and Sentries with no force field support. This is exactly what you want as a Zerg player. And all his forces are going to go down here. Queen coming in to support the Zerglings. And Spine Crawlers, Zerglings, Queens, more than enough to hold off many early 4-gates. It wasn't the most devastating 4-gate I've ever seen, but I did hold it off. 4-gate from our gold level player here, who now opts to expand off of his 4-gate and horrible losses. But he knows I won't attack into his ramp, so you can pretty safely put down this expansion. I guess, you know, I really should be scouting this honestly and then be taking it out with speedlings and then escaping scot-free. But that's something I didn't do here. I'm going to want to do in the future. It's 0. Oh, and there was some banter going back and forth. I think he was complaining about how he was tired, and I mentioned that I completely scouted him. That was another reason he lost that engagement. But yeah, I totally could have got away with sniping this expansion as it was morphing in. He says he was about to cancel and 3-gate expand. Whatever, sounds like an excuse to me, but no reason to talk about it anymore in-game. Focus on what you're doing. Yeah, so that was held off pretty well by me. I wonder how I would have done against a stronger 4-gate, a stronger timing. Some of you Protoss players really know how to hit a Zerg when we don't have enough forces to defend it. I was pretty well defended throughout, though, before that 4-gate came. I probably could have taken those initial units that arrived outside my door. I could have taken those out pretty easily, I bet. But I was fine just waiting for my static D. Alright, so I'm just now sending out a Zergling scout to see what's going on after that attack. Hold the watchtower. I really would have liked to have scouted his front much earlier than this. Something I need to do better in the future. We can all stand to do better. This is pretty decent defense from him here, but as a Protoss, you generally want to get some structures going in a wide open natural like this, because it really leaves you open to Zergling run-bys. Let's maybe just keep that in mind. Let's see, how's this Protoss player going? Let's focus on what you other races can do. Okay, so he is, yeah, he's chrono boosting out some probes. That's pretty nice, I guess. Hasn't really increased his production. Now he's throwing down a robo facility, teching up a little bit, getting a forge. I'd maybe like to see a little bit of pylon forge infrastructure here to help protect his natural, hint hint. This huge wide open natural on Typhon Peaks is vulnerable to things like Zergling run-bys. Back to myself, the Zerg player, getting a couple of Evo chambers, a Roach Warren. I think I threw that down even before his 4-gate attack reached my front base. Getting Spore Crawlers because I have not scouted, and instead of scouting, well, I mean, I can't really scout. So as Zerg, you just get these slow Overlords that'll die before they figure out anything new. So I can't really scout until I get Overlord speed, which I think I'll get pretty soon here. But I have no scouting information, so you want to throw down Spore Crawlers. If he transitions into Void Rays, he's going to be able to do massive damage to you if you're not ready for it. So a couple Spore Crawlers in support, and of course your Queens should be able to take out any number of Void Rays he transitions into. Hopefully you see them coming. I'd really like to see an Overlord here to prepare for that, though, to prepare for Void Rays and Phoenix. That's something I could have sent out by now and should have done. Right now, sticking with Lings, I don't have too many more right now than when I thwarted his 4-gate, but I have so many Spines. I've got my third up, by the way. I think I got that up maybe 3 minutes game time ago. But I feel pretty comfortable. I have all these spines. I have the watchtower. I'm going to know if any big attacks coming. Staying decently ahead on my supply count. Well, not really. 6 supply ahead is okay, but I have tons of infestors coming. Oh, and here comes the Ling run by. Oh yeah. I'm going to want to run in here, hold position so you don't attack his army. And these probes are going to die as soon as they return their minerals. Yep. Took out all the probes at his natural. Let's see how many that was. 13 probes killed for free. Just because he is forced to defend this ramp with his units a little bit, but he didn't have them defending this expansion, didn't have any structures and support to help block off the silly Lings, no photon cannons to scare me off or protect his probes, so he lost 13 workers as a result, and he is at a 26 probe to 53 drone disadvantage. I'd like to see myself drone up a little bit more here, see if that's something I do. Oh, and I think I end up messing up this spine crawler transition. I wonder if I have an overlord over here. You really want to overlord over these rocks for vision to see if they're doing anything crazy, like breaking those down to kill you. But yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I got overlord over there now, and I'm getting overlord speed. So I'm going to be able to scout this robotics bay. Unless I actually scout their base, I generally assume that a Protoss is going for Colossi because that's what they always do. They're not the most imaginative people. Or you may not be the most imaginative person if you're a Protoss player, you know who I'm talking about. So he has kind of snuck a second expansion here, a third base. I say snuck because generally Protoss and Terran want to keep all their bases as close as possible to one another because they don't have the most mobile armies. Zerg really is the only race with a mobile army, unless you're going air or something with the other two races. But yeah, this is very risky by him. Wide open to Zerglings. He is purely counting on me to not scout this, which I don't like. It's a little too risky for my taste. Not even throwing up any static D. You know, I guess he doesn't really have the income to do it. His income was hurt a lot by that Ling run by of mine. So as a result, his army is much smaller than it would be. Also, without having done that Ling run by, he is saturating decently well here. You want to see a few more probes on minerals there, but hard to blame him with the loss he suffered. Get a free Overlord scout in here, know exactly what's going on. I spotted the Colossus on the ramp. I see everything he's up to. I don't know about this third base though, I don't think. Yeah, no idea about that. So, he did sneak it successfully. My criticism of that aside, he did sneak it successfully, so it would pay off on him if the game continues. But it looks like I'm going to move forward with my Ling Infestor army. This is the first time I've gone Ling Infestor against Protoss. I've seen it used to good effect in replays of better Zerg players than myself, so it's something I wanted to try out. And his Stalkers have no support, not micro in the back. I get full surround with my Lings, and I get a Neural Parasite on the single Colossus. My Fungals come a little late, but they're doing their job regardless. Zerglings getting in here, crushing the Stalkers. Stalkers do so little damage against Zerglings. It takes 3 or 4 shots from a single Stalker to kill a Zergling. And Hakurin claims he is too tired and quits the game. Not the correct protocol, Hakurin. When you lose a game, you generally say GG or something more BM than too tired. I prefer to see BM than a lame excuse about being tired. But otherwise, it was a real fun game. You know, ZvP. I like the I like the non-mirror matches. It was a fun one to play. And I won it with Ling Infestor, and by holding off a 4-gate, by doing a Ling run by. Some generally good play. I think I found some mistakes, as I always do, in both myself and my opponent's play, so hopefully anybody listening learned a little bit from that. And otherwise, GG. Thanks for listening and watching.